Yo guys, so welcome back to the channel, and today we'll be doing some market analysis for the coming week for gold, EURUSD and BTCUSDT. But first, before we dive into the analysis, let's see what news we have planned out for the coming week. So on Monday, there's really no news for USD. There's no high impact news for USD. And then Tuesday as well. Wednesday. Okay, on Wednesday we have some price index news and some GDP prelim news for USD. And then Thursday there's no news. Friday there's no news. Friday we have some high impact news as well. So this coming week there's really not much news for USD, just Wednesday and Friday. So we have to keep that in mind. And with that being said, let's dive into the analysis. So first for gold, so this is gold on the weekly time frame, and we can see gold has been bearish prior to the past 3 weeks, but we've been in this bearish trend for gold. And looking at what price did as of last week, we can see that there seemed to be some bullish momentum coming to the market. But keeping in mind, right, that prior to that bullishness, we've been in this quite hefty bearish market, which broke structure here, like you can see. So that tells me one thing for gold, that this could be a retracement of this prior bearish movement. So this could be the bullish correction for that. I don't be looking to go even lower into 3,900 before seeing any bullishness, right? So this is the daily time frame for gold, and as you can see, I've marked out some key areas that I have interest in into the coming week, right? So we can see here, first of all, we had this break of structure to the downside, right? Then a little pullback, then even further break of structure. We mark that out here, right? And then we had this change of character because it broke this high that made the recent break of structure. So quite honestly, this this could be a really nice bullish setup, but then keeping in mind that we are also thinking this could be a correction, right? Keeping that as well in mind. So if this could possibly be a correction of this bearish movement, then we wouldn't be 100% looking for buys necessarily, but we're just keeping that in mind, right? And then we can see a supply zone here, unmitigated yet, and price currently is having some reaction off that area. So for me, I would love to see gold push a little bit higher into the supply zone before I start looking for my shorts. That is, looking for something just like this, a break, correction lower, and then maybe looking for this demand zone here, or even the extreme demand zone right down here. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing for the daily time frame on gold, right? And then if I'm to drop to the 4 hour, the 4 hour is pretty much the same. It's pretty much the same. Currently, we've taken out this this internal liquidity here currently. So having taken that out, could be looking for some fair value gap or some more supply zone mitigation before getting that reaction to the downside, right? Be getting that reaction to come take out this low here, right? Take out this low here, and then maybe maybe we can get a reaction that we are looking for. You know, something like going higher into this, break this low, and then lower. So that's what we're looking at for gold. But then alternatively, right, let me go back to the weekly time frame. So alternatively here, if we see gold break and close above this high, right, above this level here, then we could be looking at this buy side liquidity sweep here, right? Then that's a big significance for the bullishness on gold. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm saying. So basically, this is what I'm saying. Bullishness into this zone here, right? Then we could be looking for, I guess, this demand or this demand. So to look something like this, more bullishness, or get a high rejection and then bullishness. So this is these are all the scenarios I'm looking at for XAUUSD for the coming week, and we'll keep anticipating both bullishness or bearishness from the market, because you can never tell. You know, you don't try to predict the market, but rather you react to it. You know, you see what market is giving you, and then you take your trades based on that. That's it for gold. Nothing really much. You know, I mean, there's also this very little demand zone, but usually price uses this as liquidity point. I don't know if you guys know. Usually, little demand zones like this or preliminary demand zones like this often get used as liquidity point. So we could literally get something like this, take this out, and then higher, pretty much. So whenever I'm doing analysis, I really don't like dropping below 4 hour or 1 hour at max. The other little time frame now for execution and, you know, taking your trades. So yeah, that's it for gold. And then next, let's see EURUSD, right? So for EURUSD, let's look at, okay, for EURUSD, it's actually, EURUSD is actually very interesting for me, because on the weekly time frame, as you guys can see, wait, let me just make this, can I make this bigger? So on the weekly time frame, as you guys can see, we had a very interesting demand zone here, sorry, supply zone, right? And price has just mitigated that. And then we had this heavy reaction to the downside, breaking structure, right? Breaking the low that gave us the high. And as we know, this is like pretty much textbook setup for us. For those of you that might trade, I don't know, smart money concepts, right? So this was where price mitigated that weekly supply zone, right? And then we've taken some liquidity prior to that, then breaking structure to the downside, as I've marked here. So if you drop to the daily time frame here, you guys will see what I'm talking about. So here we had a sweep and then a big dump to the downside, right? Signifying some change of character, and then the pullback, right? Now this is very interesting. This is where I would like to see what the market is going to do, right, from this level right here. So we could see some bullishness, as you can see, and something very similar to gold. You know, take out this, sweep out this high, and then lower prices, right? And the lower prices. So that's basically it. I don't want to complicate this chart too much. And if we even drop lower to the 4 hour, maybe we can see something interesting here. Okay, so there's really no much fair value gaps left behind for this zone here, for this area. There's just this one. So very little. Right. So you want to extend that even further. Just 1 second. Yeah. So, I get a sweep into here. Just do something like pull back, take out that liquidity, mitigate that, drop lower, try to get the entry from right about here, and then lower prices. So you can see the EURUSD is very, very similar to what we're getting on gold. So that's what I'll be expecting, at least to come take out this previous low before any bullishness. So that's it for EURUSD for the coming week. Nothing really crazy. Trying to keep it as simple as possible. And then for Bitcoin, now Bitcoin also is very, very interesting as well. You can see on the weekly time frame for BTCUSD, price is broken this previous structure, signifying the change of character, right? And then we pull back, even not for the break of structure here, right? To mark this out, mark that as a break of structure, right? Leaving this beautiful fair value gap behind, right above here, and then this supply zone, right? So it's very similar to the way I'm also expecting on BTCUSD, which is liquidity mitigation. I don't know, possibly getting into that order block, break below, right? If I break below, tap back, get entry there to maybe come take out this low. That's for bearish scenarios. Now, if there's possibly any bullishness, I don't know if there could be any bullishness for these pairs, right? So what we'll be expecting is obviously textbook setup, boom, tap back, and then continuation. Now, whichever way price does choose to go, we do know that at least it's gonna be coming down to this area. So maybe for those of us trying to get in for shorts, and so for the bear setup, guys, right? So for those of us trying to get in for shorts, once you get in at right about here, if prices give you that, then you get out right here. So whichever way you're still at least making some money, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it. Very, very, very simple. I'm not trying to complicate this. It's my first time doing some analysis on YouTube, so I'm not trying to complicate the market or the charts. So I'd love to see what these pairs have for us, right? I'd love to see what the market has for us. And also remember, guys, always react to the market. Don't try to predict the market. You could get new spikes. You could get pretty much anything can happen. So keeping that in mind, looking forward to a great week of trading. And yeah, guys, do comment what you guys also think for the coming week. And also remember to subscribe, like, and share the video. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.